Hi guys, welcome to my page. In today's video I'll be showing you how to draft a good princess dart, as well as telling you the do's and the don'ts of princess dart. Before we get into today's video, let me quickly tell you about the sponsor of today's video. The sponsor of today's video is Tybit. So you might be wondering, what is Tybit? Tybit is an application designed for fashion designer. I mean, every fashion designer should have this application on their phone. With this application, you can save measurements on your device. You don't have to do pen and paper anymore. You can add new order to keep track of how well your business is doing. You can send invoice to your customer from this application to remind them that you are here to pay me so amount in a polite way. Don't worry about that. So I'm going to guide you through how to get the application downloaded. Just go to the comment section or in the description box. You see a link about Tybit. Then click on the link and you get the application downloaded, whether you are using Android or iOS. Most amazing thing here is that with Tybit you can get access to free fashion designer community, where you be in a group of fashion designer. You can ask questions if you have any difficulty and you get response to it immediately. So click on the link now to get Tybit downloaded. And let's get to today's video, which is how to draft a princess dart, a good princess dart, and the do's and don'ts of princess dart. The first thing I will be doing here is to mark the shoulder slope, mark the armhole curve, and also the neck line. So to start with the shoulder slope, we're going to divide the shoulder measurement by 2. I'm going to do that. Whatever the shoulder measurement be in your case, divide the measurement by 2 and mark. So in my case here, let me use tape so you can see. In my case here, the shoulder measurement is 16, so I divided it by 2 and I mark. I'm going to mark the neck width. The neck width is the wideness of the neck. So however you want the neck to be wide, divide it by 2. If you want the neck to be as wide as 9 inches, divide it by 2. You're going to get 9.5 inches. If you want it to be as wide as 8 inches, divided by 2, you're going to have 4 inches. Then you mark that on your pattern or on your fabric. So for the sake of this video, I'm going to be working with the standard, not too wide and not too slim, so which is 3.5 inches. So I just marked 3.5 inches. After marking that, I'll go back to the shoulder tip and go downward by an inch, just by 1 inch. So I'm going to mark. Then I'll make my shoulder slope connecting from the neck tip, from the shoulder tip to the neck width. So this is what the shoulder slope is. This shoulder slope means that the human shoulder is not straight, so we are making a slope to make the dress balance on the shoulder the way it should be. The next thing we want to do is to mark the armhole depth, which is the deepness of the armhole. This can be gotten by dividing the bust measurement by 6, then add 1.5 inches to whatever the result is. So by doing that, in my own case, I have it to be 7.5 inches. So I mark the depth of the armhole. After that, I want to mark a straight line from this point to this point, and to do that, I'll have to take this shoulder measurement also around the armhole depth area. The shoulder measurement is 8. The shoulder measurement I took is 8, so I have it to be around this point. And from here, I can get a straight line from the armhole depth to the shoulder slip easily. So this is the straight line I wanted. And from this, I can mark the armhole curve using my French curve, simply by placing the French curve on this pattern, letting the bottom of the French curve to be at the depth of the armhole, and letting the side of the French curve to be at the shoulder tip. So I'm going to do that easily, and I'll have the armhole curve done. So once I place it that way, I'm going to follow the shape of the French curve. So this is the armhole curve we want. We can proceed with the neckline. Already we have the neck width, we have the wideness of the neck. So what we need now is the depth, the neck depth. So determine how deep you want the neck to be. After determining that, you mark whether you want it to be 4, 5 or 6. So let's do 4 in this video, so I'm doing 4. I just mark the 4 as my neck depth. Then I'm going to use this same French curve to make a round neck shape on the neck. So I'll just follow the shape of the French curve, and this is what I have. After that, I'll take the chest line, the under bust line, the chest line, the bust line, and the under bust line, and as the case may be, the extended under bust line. So you know how to get your chest line. You can always measure that on your customer's body. In my case here, let me make use of 8 inches as my chest line, 11 inches as my bust line, and 15 inches as my under bust line. So I'm going to mark 15 inches here. I'll mark this line before I proceed telling you about the extended under bust line I mentioned earlier. So let me mark all this line. You can also take the measurement around here in order for you to get a straight line. So for the sake of this video, I'm just going to go through here to make it quick. So this is the chest line. I just marked the bust line, and here is the under bust line. So this is the basic line we need for our princess dart. Remember, I mentioned extended under bust line. That depends on how you want your blouse to be. If you don't want the peplum to start immediately under the bust, because this line is immediately under the bust. This line represents the measurement from the shoulder, dragging the tape vertically to immediately under the breast. So that is where this line is. But if you don't want your peplum to start immediately under the bust, then you can extend the under bust line, and that I call that line extended under bust line. So by whatever inches you want to extend it, whether by 2.5 inches or 3 inches, go ahead and extend it by that measurement. So let me extend my by 2 inches. Let me do by 2. Then I'm also going to mark this line. So you should know that this extended under bust line is just a duplicate of the under bust line, and whatever you do on the under bust line, you're also going to do the same thing on the extended under bust line. That should be copied so you get it right as we move, because as we move, I'll be doing the same thing I do on the under bust line. I'm going to do the same thing on the extended under bust line. What you want to do next is to take the bust span measurement. The bust span measurement is the distance between the two nipples. So some people call this measurement nipple to nipple measurement. So you have to take that. Let's say in our case, the nipple to nipple measurement is for 8 inches. So let's use 8 inches, and if we divide 8 inches by 2, we're going to get 4 inches. Then we add half an inch to that 4 inches. We are marking this on the bust line. Remember, this is the chest line, this is the bust line, under bust line, and the extended under bust line. So I just mark 4.5 inches on the bust line, and I'll come down to the extended under bust line and to the under bust line, mark the bust span measurement, but without adding any half an inch to it. So I'm just going to mark that 4 inch without adding anything. Remember, whatever I do on the under bust line, I'm going to do the same thing on the extended under bust line. So I'm still marking the same 4. Then I'm going to connect them together. Connect them together. Then also connect this point together. After doing that, I'm going to decide where I want my princess dart to go to around the armhole, whether you want it around this side, but you should know that you don't want it to be towards around this side. It shouldn't go towards the shoulder tip. It shouldn't go up towards the shoulder. Yes, at least it should be at the middle of your first armhole drafted. You know, this is the first armhole we draft. As we go on, we might adjust this armhole curve, but your princess dart should be at the midpoint of the first armhole you draft. The midpoint is the middle. You can measure it round from this point to this point, then divide the measurement by 2 for you to get the middle. Let's say we want our princess dart to be at this point, so we are making use of this as the midpoint. Then I'm going to connect with the French curve from this point to the armhole where we want the princess dart to stop. So we have this done, and what we want to do next is to take the dart. So we are going to take out the dart, for the, and the dart is going to be taken out around the under bust line. So you determine the dart size you want. The dart size depends on the size of the breast of the customer. So we have dart size of 2 inches, 2.5 inches, which is 2.5 inches, and we also have 1.5 inches and also 1 inch. It all depends on who you are working with, and I say this depends on the size of the breast, because the dart we are giving it is for us to create space for the breast. So I'm taking out 2 inches dart here, and I'm also going to take out 2 inches dart on the extended under bust line, because whatever I do here, I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to connect. After connecting, the next line should be from the under bust line to the bust line, and I'm going to use my French curve to mark that. So the curve should be like this. So this is how you want the curve to be. And the next thing is that you don't want to make the curve of the other side to lap with this. That is one of the don't of princess darts, because I've seen many people marking their the other side to be like this. They will let it lap with this. They don't want to go through that stress of taking out that around the armhole, and of course you have to take out that around the armhole. This is princess dart, so you're going to take out that from this armhole, and on this side it's also going to be 2 inches. Whatever that you take out from the under bust, you take out the same thing from the armhole curve or the armhole area. Then you use your French curve to mark the curve again. So you're going to have something like this. So once you have something like this, you know that we mark our armhole curve and we mark the depth. We measure the depth earlier and we say the depth is 2 inch. The bust measurement divided by 6. The bust measurement divided by 6 and plus 1.5 to whatever the result is. But you should note that by taking out this dart here, after cutting and joining the back, the armhole curve will be short. Will no longer be the bust measurement divided by 6 plus 1.5. It will no longer be that. So you have to take the armhole curve again, all over again. And before you do that, you want to measure from this point to this point, or to this point entirely. Then you measure. If you measure entirely, then on this side too you measure from this point to this point. Compare the measurements and check if they align with each other, because at the end, after cutting everything, you want to join them back together. And if they do not align with each other, that means that after transferring this pattern onto your fabric will not align with each other when sewing. So let's take the measurements and check if they align with each other. And mostly this side will be short to this, and you have to extend. So on this side I have it to be 12.5 inches, and on the other side, let's take that. So on the other side, on the other side, I have it to be 11.5 inches, so 11.5 inches, which means that this side is short by 1 inch, and of such we have to extend this side so that the armhole will not be short. So we are extending this side by 1 inch. So you have it like this. Remember that I just extended this place for both sides to align with each other when sewing, and that doesn't mean that the armhole will not be short, because these 2 inches is still out and we haven't replaced that. And the best solution to that is for you to take a very small armhole curve. So you're going to remark another armhole like this without minding any measurement again. So when you do it this way, after cutting and transferring this pattern onto your fabric, and you have your fabric cut, you are now joining your fabric back, you're going to have the dress in a way that there will be no armhole. Then after joining the pieces, that you can now cut the armhole using the measurements, because you don't want to go through stress and you don't want to make mistake at this point. So you have to leave the armhole like this, make it a little bit big, because by marking a small armhole, we just make the armhole in a way that it can be adjusted. So that's why I mark a small armhole. If you mark a very big armhole, what about if the armhole is too big? Then we cannot bring it back to the small size. But in a case where we just mark a small one, if the armhole is small, we can recut it using the armhole of the back side. So you can just place the back side on the front, then trace the armhole curve, use the armhole of the back to cut that of the front. So that is how to go about that. And you proceed to taking the body measurement. You all know how to do this. So you divide the bust measurement by 4. So once you have the bust measurement by 4, you don't want to mark the result directly. So let's say the bust measurement is 40, so you're going to use that 40 on the chest line. So we're using the 40, the bust measurement on the chest line. And if the bust measurement is 40, we divide the 40 by 4, we got 10, we get 10 as the result. You don't want to mark just 10 directly like that, because there is that we took out around this side. So you have to come to this area and measure how many inches that how many inches go to waist because of that. And from here you can see it's 1.5 inches, so that will make the bust measurement around this side to be 11.5. If you want to add your sewing allowance, your seam allowance to it, now you can add it, but you might also want to cut it without seam allowance and add your seam allowance to it when you are transferring this pattern onto your fabric. So whichever you want to do. If you don't want to add your seam allowance, you can just mark 11.5 inches. But if you want to add seam allowance, you can go ahead to determine how many inches you want as your sewing allowance. If you want 2 inches, if you want 1.5 inches, it's going to be 13. So you mark 13, either 11.5 or 13. So you come to the bust line. On the bust line, you say the bust measurement divided by 4, and that is that is 10 inches. You're going to mark the 10 inches. You know, on this line there's no dot, there's no part of it that go to waist because of that, so there's nothing to add to it. Either you mark your 10 or you add your sewing allowance to it from the pattern making, or if you want to add the sewing allowance when you are transferring this to your fabric, so you can do any one you want. So we have our 10 and we also have 11.5, that is after adding and the sewing allowance. We go to the under bust. We divide the under bust measurement by 4. Let's say in our case the under bust measurement is 30 inches. So if we divide that by 4, we're going to have 7.5 inches. So 7.5 inches, for sure you can see we have some parts of it that go to waste because of the dart, and if you measure that, you see that is 2 inches. So 7.5 inches plus 2 inches, you're going to have 9.5 inches. Then whether you want to add your sewing allowance or you want to do that when transferring it onto your fabric, that will be your choice. And of course, whatever we do on the under bust line, we are going to do the same thing on the extended under bust line. So I'm marking the same thing here. After marking all this line, you can connect them together and have your princess dart cut out. So this first line I'm connecting is when you don't want to add your sewing allowance from the pattern making. Maybe you want to add the sewing allowance when you are transferring this pattern onto your fabric. So that is what the first line serve for. And the second line is in a case where you want to add the sewing allowance from your pattern making. You just want to place the pattern on your fabric and trace exactly what the pattern is. So thank you so much for watching this video to this point. And at this point, if you haven't subscribed or followed this page, kindly do that. Click on the notification bell so you get notified anytime I drop a new video. And you can also go to my page on my channel to go through my videos and check if you find anyone that catch your attention or anyone that help you to improve your experience. So do that, and don't forget to follow or subscribe to my page. So far from this video, we've learned that we don't want to make the side front dart to come too closer to the center front princess dart line. We don't want it to be like this. That isn't going to give you a good princess dart. So we know that from this video that the dart should also be taken out from the armhole area, and we know that if you have extended under bust line, whatever we do on the under bust line, we should do the same thing on the extended under bust line. We also know that when we are taking the bust measurement for our fabric to not be short, many beginners make this mistake and they don't know where the mistake is coming from. All they are thinking is that, oh, I follow the measurement and now the bust measurement is being short, and that was because you didn't add this dart area that will go to waste. So whenever you're taking measurements around anywhere where you can see there is that, and for you to have that reminder in mind, you should always shade your darted area where your dart is. So when you have it shaded, whenever you're taking any measurement around that side, these shadings will flash through your mind that this is the dart area, and I shouldn't just take measurement around it just like that without considering the dart. So from this video, we've learned that when taking the bust measurement, that waist should be added to the body measurement before we mark. So I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, and most especially share this video to whatever group you are in. Share this video so that this can reach more people. Thank you.